Hi everyone, it's 11:45 p.m. February 4th, 2011. Um, I was trying to fall asleep and it's Friday, thank whoever you believe in because it's a miracle that it's finally Friday. I had a very busy week, especially the last few days, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, were like, but I think that was because Monday and Tuesday I kind of like chilled out a little more than I should have, and I have a lot of work to do this weekend, so there's no let up, and I can't afford to let up, so I'm dealing with that, which is honestly, no matter how people are like, oh, this is stressful, or like whatever, I am so happy to just be alive and in a space where I can feel like those are actions that I'm partaking in this activity called life. And that makes them not bad. Like, people freak out about, like, oh, I have this to do this, I can run here. I'm so happy that I, number one, have the energy to do that and that I can do it and that I am doing it. That I'm living. Like, that's life. And just coming to that realization has been huge for me. So in my last video, I talked about going to the doctor, which I did today, and I got my blood drawn. And they should have the results on Monday, so stay tuned for that. And what else? Tomorrow is my weigh-in, so I'm excited about that. I debated whether I was going to weigh in tomorrow or not. Because I felt like I could have done better this week and I didn't want to weigh myself until I didn't want a number to disappoint me and send me possibly, like, let's say I gained another pound this week. I didn't want that to send me backward to where next week I continue to gain. Like, I feel fine from what I did this week. I don't know actually what the justification was. I think I was just afraid because I ate all of those nuts that I was telling you about the other night. And you know, that while that has its own place in where I am, I can't allow that to be my focus and to be what I act on. I need to act out of confidence in myself, my ability, and my achievements, which include what I've done this week. So whatever the result is, does my body feel better? Do I have a lot of energy? Have I done a lot? Have I accomplished a lot? Yes. So the number on the scale is not going to dictate how I feel about myself and what I have accomplished in this past week, and it is also not going to dictate how I go forward in the next week. So make of that what you will. I think it's good. Today I did yoga. I had a yoga class, vigorous vinyasa yoga with Lucretia. That was really awesome. That was great. I really enjoyed that. And then I climbed the rock wall only once. Um, because the rock wall was closing and I just managed to catch them and was able to do it once. I plan on going to the rock wall tomorrow, and I'm also going to a lifting clinic. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I used to power lift, power and Olympic lift, and they're just two different styles of weightlifting, and I really liked it, and I'm hoping maybe this clinic will kind of, inspire me to get a little bit more back into it. I'm thinking if I lift even 2 days a week, one day a week to start, that would be great, and that would make me feel really good. So tomorrow I guess my plan is to do the 30-day shred in the morning at some point, and then go to that weightlifting clinic and climb the wall if I can. I don't know what time it's open, and I do have a lot of work to do tomorrow, so if I can make it over to the wall, I would love that, but if I can't, that's okay too. What else? That feels good that I outlined that plan for tomorrow, because it could have just been a little bit in limbo. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. I don't know if I have shared this with the YouTube community at large, but I have had, well, I've had a lot of things, but one of the things that I have had is PTSD. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's post-traumatic stress syndrome. And yes, it's not just old men who've been in wars who have it. It's a thing that people can get. from psychological trauma. And so what used to happen to me was I would go through what I've now been able to recognize as episodes, and I would like not be able to get out of bed, and I would just be literally like reliving events, and I would just be paralyzed, like in bed, like in the dark, not going to class, not talking to anyone, just not eating, just a mess, literally like reliving a terrible event. And that was hard to go to start college and have that, because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. I went to therapy, obviously, and anyway, so these fluctuations could go on for a month, where I would not do anything, and then I would come out of it because something would force me to, and I wouldn't even come out of it. I would just instead walk around and go through a few motions, totally dazed out of my mind. Um, but um, but now, um, they started. Sorry. They started to get better, obviously, and it's all about like process, how long it takes you to process things, depending on how long you've been working at it. So in the beginning, of course, it took like months, and then it kind of got to weeks, and last semester it got to like 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks, which was good. That it just really fell off the planet. But this semester, this past Wednesday, I had an episode, and I hadn't had one since I've been feeling so good, and it really kind of threw me. Wednesday, I took a nap in the middle of the day, which is kind of a trigger for me. I didn't sleep the night before. I took a nap in the middle of the day. My eating was a little weird. I was feeling kind of funky. Hadn't taken time for myself, and I had an episode, and it only lasted a few hours. It was like 2 3 hours, and then I snapped up, got to class, and I was 40 minutes late to class. But hey, I went, and then I went to the class after, and then I came back to my room. I did, and the first thing I had to do was for me. And so I cleaned my room, I took a shower, I put on lotion, I shaved, I lit incense, I lit candles, I sat here. It was dark then, so it was dark, and I just had the candles, and I listened to put on some meditation music, and I just sat and I meditated for like an hour and a half. And that was really the way to deal with it, because I felt tremendously better after that, and then I was able to go about and function. Um, and that was huge to have this new space that I'm in my life be tested and me know how to cope with something. I think is amazing. Um, I won't digress much more into that right now, because this is kind of a long video. It's like 8 minutes, so, and it wasn't intended to be that long, so I will talk about this more at another time. But just in terms of this, people thinking that this space is like wishy-washy and flimsy and something, I don't know. Not that I'm doing this to justify my space to anyone, but really just as an explanation and possibly a hope that you could consider this a reality for your own life as well. Because this isn't just for people who sit and like grow tomatoes in their backyard and think like everything is beautiful and like don't know ugly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This lifestyle where you can see the beauty in everything and love yourself and your world, um, can be based in ugly, rooted in it, and it can grow into something beautiful, like I feel like I'm in now. So that's just a little bit of whatever, personal information, and hopefully maybe someone will take that under advisement and think that it's cool or whatever. Anyway, and apply it to their life. Or anyway, okay, now I'm actually done. So have a great night, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow morning with the weigh-in. Scary. Good night.